Okay, so we are going to move through a series of YouTube video tutorials now in order to complete a web page editing section of one of the practical exams using the following pieces of software. Adobe Dreamweaver and a image editing software, either Photoshop, or if you don't have Photoshop for now, you can use iPhoto or Photos as the default setting from your Mac. The software that I have open, the resources that I have open, here is the November 2010 Paper 3 instruction booklet, and I'm starting here at instruction 24. I also have down here the November 2010 Paper 3 files. So these are available to download from the Plato site. I've shared with you both this instruction booklet and these files, so you're going to need both of those things open. You can see here that the first section says that you have to have downloaded the following files to your own work area. And you can see in my November Paper 3 2010 files, this is what I have in my work area. So I'm going to need to be able to work through each of these to complete the task. Now, you will remember that last week you will have managed your site, you'll have set up a site linking your Dreamweaver file to this folder location on your desktop. So everything goes in that folder, and when your Dreamweaver is looking for a file, it should look for it in that folder. So first of all, my first instruction is about preparing some of these images ready for use on the website. So this means I'm going to be using a piece of image editing software. For the moment, I'm going to be using Photoshop Elements Editor. Mr. Colonese should have installed this on your computers when you got Dreamweaver installed. If you don't have the Photoshop Elements Editor, as I said, for the moment you can use iPhoto, but we can get this installed on the school's license. So the first instruction asks me to open the image nxback1.jpg in a suitable application. Okay, so if I'm opening an image in a suitable application, then I know it's image editing software that I'm opening. I know this is an image because it's a JPG file, standing for JPEG. This will be manipulated to create the background image to be used in the style sheet. So I'm going to go to my file here. I'm going to go to nxback1. I'm going to right click over the top of the file and I'm going to open it with Adobe Photoshop Elements. There it is. Back to my instructions, and it says resize the image so that it is 1024 pixels wide, maintaining the aspect ratio of the image. Show a screenshot of this in the document you called evidence in step 1. So here with my file open, I can go to image and I'm going to go down to resize and image size. Now you will find that initially your first option here, your pixels option, possibly won't be available, because what you may find is that your tick box for resampling the image is unticked. So it only gives you the option to change your document size, which is the canvas that the image is on. So in order to change your size of the actual image, I have to tick to resample the image, and then I can change the dimensions of the image by resetting these here. I want to tick the box that says constrain proportions, and that means that when I edit the width, the height will automatically edit in proportion to the changes of the width, keeping the image in the same settings at the moment, so it doesn't become stretched, too thin or too tall, etc. So the widths that I'm going to set it as is 1024. For those of you who remember rightly the number of bytes in a kilobyte, it's 1024 bytes in a kilobyte. It's also 1024 pixels as the full width of a website screen page, the default. This is to do with binary data, as we know, will only group in doubles and in sets of 8 bits to a byte. So that's why it's 1024. So I set my width, the height automatically resets because I've constrained the proportions. I'm going to take a print screen of that for my evidence, which I can move around later. I'm going to press OK. So there's the resized image. Back to my instructions. And it says, save this image as nxback2.jpg. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to save as, and I'm going to just change this to nxback2, and it's going to go in the same folder as everything else. Save. Okay. Back to my instructions. Then it says, reduce the image resolution if necessary to ensure that the stored image is no longer than 250 kilobytes. So this is about making sure that the size of the images are small enough to make the speed of loading the web page efficient. Okay, so we've got to make sure that the image resolution is less than 250 kilobytes. So when I go to File and Save As, okay, this process will enable me to change the file resolution. So I'm going to make sure that it's less than 250, and this time I'm going to save the image again as nxback3.jpg. So I'm just going to rename this nxbackground3. And when I press save, this option that opens up tells me the current image size. This is 135.8 kilobytes. And I can default change the image options resolution to low, medium, high or maximum, or I can use this drag box. So if I want a larger quality file, I can increase the resolution here, and so long as I keep it below 250 kilobytes, that's fine for this file. So obviously a maximum image quality is too large for this particular file because it has to be lower than 250. So I'm actually going to leave mine as a medium setting, 135. But you could go ahead and have, say, a higher resolution setting, quality 9 out of 12, etc. if you choose to. So I'm going to leave mine as it is. And again, I'm going to take a screenshot to show the size and the quality resolution. And I'm going to just save that. So back to my instructions now. I've saved my image nxback3 and I've taken a screenshot of the evidence of the file size. Next instruction is to open the image nxboard1.jpg in a suitable application. This is going to be manipulated before being placed on the page. Okay. So